also Honey and Sundara. Okay, so this evening, since it was been announced in our WhatsApp that there would be an upcoming exam for the end of the month, this March. So today we're going to um, continue with our discussion about the types of bones and for you to be familiarized on the different types of bones and what different kinds of bone and where these kinds of bones belong. We're going to discuss that one by one so that by the end of the March, you'll be able to answer our assessment, okay? And for the information of everybody, I had also recorded or given you grades during our Kahoot exam. Okay, so nothing to worry about if you did not get the first spot in the Kahoot exam because your rank is still recorded. I know some of you only get one wrong answer, other got two. So it's still recorded accordingly. And um not usually based on the ranking, but are those who get the higher rank would get a, let's say, additional points. It's just a little points for them since it is a matter of how fast your connection is. Okay, so are you ready for tonight's lesson? May I see a
Yes.
thumbs up if you are ready? Can you show me a thumbs up? Thank you, Alfonso. I am seeing Alfonso's thumbs up. Chicha also. Honey, are you ready? What about Inda? Inda, can you kindly please on your camera and Inda? Okay. Inda was not around last meeting, right? Inda, you did not able to join the class last meeting. Am I correct? Inda, can you hear me? Is my voice clear? Alfonso, can you hear me?
Yes.
Uh-oh. Okay, I see. Maybe Inda is really having trouble with her connection. Okay.
Or maybe the
So,
trouble of from her connection of the microphone.
yeah, because the same as when she joined the class, she keeps disconnecting. Maybe her signal has trouble. Okay. But anyway, let us start. Let's get started. Okay. Mhm. Can you see my screen now, Alfonso? Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Can you read what's in the screen for me?
Bone and bone tissue.
All right, so we are on bone and bone tissue. Now, before we proceed to this continuation of our lesson, let us try to recall what are the different types of bone according to shape. Can you give me at least two types of bone, honey? Two types only, honey. Since I am seeing Chicha eating her dinner, shall we have honey first? Can you give me at least two types of bones according to the shape?
Okay, teacher. Compact bone and
Compact bone. Okay.
fungi bone.
Hmm. Okay. So honey is talking about the type of bone according to the shape, according to the structure based on the anatomy of the bone because the bone is made up of compact and spongy bone. Okay, but the question is can you give me the types of bone, two, at least two types of bone according to shape? Honey, can you recall according to shape? Oh, let's have Alfonso first. Alfonso, how many types or how
I
many shapes?
I know.
All right. Honey
Long,
already knows. Okay. Just two,
long,
honey.
long bones and flat bones.
All right. Good. Very good. That's correct, honey. Thank you, honey. We have long bone and short bone. Next, we still have the last three. What about Alfonso? Can you give me the other two? Two only for Alfonso?
Uh, Irregular and sesamoid bones.
Yes. So, long and short, irregular, and sesamoid. Very good. Now, what about the last one? Shall we have Inda for the last one? Inda, can you give me the last one? The missing one? Inda, do you have a problem with your microphone? Can you chat it in the chat box so that I will know? All right. I am seeing in this chat here. Ah, all right. I understand. Okay, now I understood why Inda's mic is broken. So we have Chicha for the last type of bone. We have already the long, the short, the irregular, and the sesamoid. What is the last one, Chicha?
Flat bone.
All right, very good. We have the last one is the flat bone. So it is good to know that you do remember our lesson. Tonight, we'll be able to know how is bone being developed, how is bone being structured, becoming long and short, and the same as what are the different bones that belongs to the other types. Have here. So here. So where bone is a specialized connective tissue that has um, the strength of cast iron and lightness of a pine wood. Living bone is not dry, brittle, or dead. It is moist, changing productive tissue that is continually reabsorbed and reformed and remodeled. So by looking at the definition, you'll be able to know that a bone would be considered living and not dead when it is not dry and brittle. Okay? And at the same time, the word bone is derived from the Greek word. Let me have use a annotation. Okay, here. Is this. So the word bone is from the Greek word osteon. Okay? Osteon is a Greek word that means bone. So therefore, when we say osteology, from the word osteon and logi means study, osteon means bone. Therefore, osteology is considered to be the branch of science that deals with the study of bone because it comes from the two Greek word ostron and logos or logi, meaning study of bone. So again, where do we get what is the etymology or where do we get w- the term bone, Alfonso? On what language did we get the term bone?
What?
On what language did we get the term bone? Where do we get the word bone? Came from?
Came from
Or what
Austrian.
is the Greek word? All right. Osteon. Osteon is a Greek word that means bone. Now, honey, what do you call the branch of science that deals with the study of bone? Honey, do you hear me, honey?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, all right. What do you call the branch of science that deals with the study of bone?
Uh,
Take your time, honey. Okay. Right. Who wants to answer for the question?
Me.
Chicha. All right, Chicha. Okay, let's have Chicha. What is a branch of science that deals with the study of bone, Chicha?
Physiology.
Very good. Osteology. From the word osteon and logy, meaning bone study. Okay? So that is a branch of science that deals with the study of bone. Now, let us proceed. Okay, next. So function of the bone, we already know this one. It gives shape, allows movement, make blood cells, provides protection for the organ. You already know that. Now here is the type. And you also know this type already. The short, the long, the flat, the sesamoid, and the irregular. Now, the next slide will show you different kinds of bone that is found in our body that is grouped accordingly to its shape. We have here. So as you can see, the first one of the type of bone that we are going to dig deeper is the long bone. Are called long as its length is greater than its width. The most obvious long bones are in the arm and leg. They act as lever that pull by contraction of muscle. So these are the different long bone, specific name of bone, name of long bone that can be found in our body. Number one, you have the numerus. The numerus is found in your upper arm. This one, this is considered as long bone. You have the um radius. The radius is found in your lower arm that is attached to your thumb. So the bone that is attached to your thumb is called the radius, while the one that is attached to your pinky finger, to this finger, is what you call the ulna. Okay, so all of the bones that is found in your arms is considered to be long bones. Next, in our legs or in our thigh, we can found the longest bone of the body, which belong to the long bones, which is called the femur. And if in our arm, we have the ulna and the radius, in our leg, we have the so-called tibia and fibula. Okay. The tibia is the bigger bone. Let me use an annotation so that you would see. Okay, here. Here you go. This one. This class is the tibia. This one, the bigger size of bone. This bigger size of bone is considered to belong. This is the equivalent of the ulna in the arm. And the other one is what we call fibula. It is quite thinner than the fibula. I mean, than the tibia. This fibula is attaches to the smaller phalanges of your foot. Okay? So all of this bone that is found in your arm, including your leg, is what you call long bone. Yes, Alfonso, you're raising your hand. Do you have question, Alfonso?
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
Why
let's
there
have
is
your question.
fibula and radius? What if they were didn't there in our skeleton?
Oh, okay. Your answer about your question is about the radius and the fibula. The radius in the lower arm and the fibula in the lower leg. Is that correct?
Yes.
What if they're not there? Okay. So if these two is not present in our lower arm, in our lower leg, there is a tendency, or it's not actually a tendency, it would affect the movement of our hand, of our arm, and in our leg. Because during movement, as you can see, this is the numerous, right? And we have the radius here. There, this two bone is attaches by the joint that is found in our elbow, and when we tend to move, this bone in the humerus tend to contract, and the bone in the radius opposes the movement of the humerus in order to lift our hand, to lift our arm. And if the other bone is not present, such as the radius, then the movement would not be possible to be done. The same as the fibula and the femur. Okay? Did I answer your question, Alfonso?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Alfonso. Now, let us proceed to the short bone. Do not forget about the name of the bone, okay? Because we're going to include this in your exam, the names of the bone. And these bones are considered to be the long bone. Next one. Let me move you. Short bone. I need to move you a little bit because I cannot see my okay, there you are. Okay. We have the short bone. Short bone, you already know, is about equal the length and the width and its thickness. So the function provides stability to the wrist and ankle joints and also helps facilitate movements. So as you can see, some of the short bone are found in our tarsals and metatarsals. May I ask a question? Can I ask, we're ready, I already seeing you here. So we already have in the class. Noel is already present. Mark is also already here. And who do I miss calling the names? Okay, question. Based on the picture, as you can see, you have here the tarsals and carpals, and they are an example of short bones. Can you give me the difference between the two, Noel? What's the difference between tarsals and carpals? Noel, do you hear me?
Yes, miss.
All right. Noel, can you, based on our previous class and based on the picture that you see, these two bones on the screen, the tarsals and the carpals, are example of a short bone. Can you give me the difference between these two types of bone?
The carpals are at the wrist and the tarsals is at the foot.
All right, very good. That's very specific. Correct. So good job. So it is true that the carpals is found in our wrist. So basically, it is found in the hand, and the tarsal is found in the foot. So these two is they differ on their location. Okay, even if they differ in their location, these two has a very big similarities in terms of its shape because the tarsals and the carpals seems always to be the same because they are a type of short bone. As you can see, we have here the attachment of a convex and concave type of bone that is held together, attaches together in order to facilitate movements. So this two again is a type of short bone, tarsals and metatarsals. Next one. Flat bone. So you already know the flat bone. So the flat bone that I keep giving you as an example is the ribs, right? But there are a lot of flat bone in our body that I haven't mentioned. So they often are flat and it includes, as you can see, I will let you see it. What are those you have here? Our cranial bone, the bone that is found in our skull, that is also flat bone. Your sternum or the chest bone, that is flat bone. Okay? And we have the 12 pair of ribs, this one, a total of 24. These are flat bone. We also have the scapulae. The scapulae or the wing bone is also considered as flat bone. So all of this, cranial, sternum, scapulae, and um, ribs is a flat bone. Yes, Alfonso, do you have question?
Why does ribs is also a flat bone, but
Why
they
does a
were
rib?
long?
Ah, I see. So that's a good question. Alfonso is asking why does a ribs considered to be flat and why it's not long? Okay, is that correct, Alfonso?
Yes.
Okay, so the ribs is not considered long because if we are going to look at the definition of or the description of a long bone is that a long bone is longer than its width, right? That's the term. But if we are going to have the definition of the flat bone, as you can see, flat bone are thin or curved. More often, they are flat. So based on the structure of the ribs, you can see basically that it is quite long in length. But unfortunately, based on its structure, it passed to the description of the flat bone. Why? Because it is curved at the same time flat. Okay? That is the reason why the flat, the ribs is considered to be flat bone, not long bone. Okay,
Oh.
let us try to look at the picture of the long bone a while ago so that we tend to see the difference between the short and the flat. Okay, let us have again the short, a long bone. Okay, there you are. As you can see, is the long bone seem to be flat or just slender in shape and it's just long?
Just long and cylinder.
Yeah, you see the difference now, Alfonso?
Yes.
Yes, so that is why the ribs is the ribs does not belong to the Long bone because of its shape and appearance. Thank you for that question, Alfonso. Now let us proceed to the fourth one. Irregular bone. You already know this one. The irregular bone is found in the vertebrae. This one is the vertebrae. The one that is filed up, that made up our spinal cord. That is what you call vertebrae. This one. Okay, now this vertebrae. Sacrum. The sacrum is can be found below your spinal cord or the bone in your back. That is the sacrum. That is also considered as um it is also considered as irregular bone and also your hip bone. So these are the example of irregular bone. Irregular bone are the type of bone that do not fit on the other category of bone. Okay, we need to be fast in this because we're going to proceed to the types of joints right after this one for us to be able to know how is the bone being joined. If I am not mistaken, I have already discussed the type of joints to you already. Do you remember the types of joints?
Yes,
The bone, can
only some
you
of it.
recall joints, not the bone?
Uh,
Maybe some of you can
yes,
recall
yes,
the
yes.
ball and socket.
I
Yeah,
remember
that's
some
one.
of it only.
Yeah, it's okay. Because we're going to have that as the next lesson so that you will understand how the muscle moves. Because we'll proceed on muscle right after. Okay, next. Sesamoid. So you have here. Sesamoid relieves tension within the muscle and tendons. Small bones embedded within coordinates tendons. As you can see here, this is the patella. The patella is the kneecap and it is considered as a sesamoid bone. Now, I want to emphasize one term here that is being written based on the definition of the bone. Here, okay. Sesamoid are small bones embedded within a certain tendons. Anyone who could recall to me what is tendons? You can raise your hand if you want to answer. Anyone who knows what is tendons? Tendons. Alfonso. Okay? Let us see from Alfonso and I will call other student also to share their ideas. Okay, let's have
Uh,
Alfonso. What do you mean by tendons?
as I remember, the tendons is the muscle that makes our knees move.
The muscle that made our knees move. You got the idea, but there is this an exact term for the tendons because the tendons is not actually a muscle, but it is correct to say that the tendons help
It's the connective
for the
tissue.
knee
There is
to
a connective
move.
tissue that is the connective tissue that connect from muscle and bone.
Yes, that is correct. So the tendon is the one that connects your muscle to the bone. As you can see in the picture here, this is your muscle, muscle also, and this is the bone. Now, the connective tissue under it that allows your bone, your muscle, to be connected to the bone is what you call the tendons. Now, if the tendons is the one that connects muscle to your bone, what about the type of connective tissue that connects bone to bone? What do you call the connective tissue that connects bone to bone? Anyone in the class who knows the type of connective tissue that connects bone to bone together? Shall we have Honey? Would you like to answer also, Inda? If you'd like to answer, you can um write your answer in the chat box, Inda. A connective tissue that connects bone to bone. What about Mark? Can I hear from you, Mark?
Yes.
Yes. According to Alfonso a while ago, Mark, that the tendons is a type of connective tissue that connects muscle to bone. Now, if the tendons is the one that connects muscle to bone, what do you call the type of connective tissue that connects bone to bone?
It's like type of joints.
Yeah, a joint is aided with a connective tissue because joints do facilitate movement, but joints need a specific connective tissue to be able to attach certain body parts, such as bone to bone, muscle to bone. Last time you had told me, right? I will not forget that you told me the reason why bone is not allowed to be attached directly. Because if they were directly attached towards each other, they were going to create friction. And when
So
friction
we are
happens
gonna make it
between two bones, that would be
not long.
very painful in our body. That is why there is what we call connective tissue that act as a cushion and act as a spread. If it's a sandwich, it is the one at the center that joins two bones together. Now, can you recall what is the type of connective tissue that attaches bone to bone together?
Connective tissue.
Yeah,
Mm,
connective tissue.
well, that tissue that connects the bone, a joint tissue.
A joint is different from connective tissue.
I
Okay,
don't
Mark
know.
is still all right. It's okay. It's okay. I understand. Okay, Alfonso is raising her hand, but Alfonso, I will going to give chance to others, okay? Since you've answered already.
Okay.
It's okay, I understand for Mark because he didn't able to attend our previous class, the earliest class that we have, and I guess I had already presented this to them. So it's okay, Mark. So we have Honey. About Honey, do you know what is the connective tissue that attaches bone to bone?
Mm, I don't know.
I don't know. What about Shicha? Shicha, what type
Yes.
of connective tissue attaches bone to bone?
I think ligament,
Come again?
ligament,
Okay,
ligament.
very yes, correct. Very good. The ligament. The ligament. Let me type it. The ligament. Ligament is a type of connective tissue that attaches bone to bone. This is the attachment. While the tendons is the connective tissue that attaches muscle to bone. Now, do we still have another type of connective tissue that we miss?
Yes.
Noel? Let's have Noel first, Alfonso.
Sorry.
It's okay. Noel, can you give me the last type of connective tissue?
uh, I don't know, Miss.
Hmm. You forgot also. What about Inda? Inda, can you type it in the chat box if you know? The last type. Okay. I can see. Inda forgot also. Mm-hmm. What about honey? Do you remember now, honey? What is the last type? I will give you a clue. Okay. This is for everybody except Chicha and Alfonso, since you had already answered questions. Now, a clue for the last type of connective tissue, because it is very important because bones are not held together so that it would avoid friction. And we need to aid for the connective tissue that helps them um join together or bond together. So the last type of connective tissue is quite flexible and soft. It does not actually connect bone to bone, muscle to bone, but rather it acts as cushion of the bone. An example of that is your ears, your nose. Noel, what does your nose made of? What type of bone or connective tissue? Your ears. And you often eat it when you eat chicken. Can you now recall? Do you have no idea, Noel?
I don't know, Miss.
Noel really doesn't know. What about, all right, let us give the chance to Alfonso. What is the last type, Alfonso?
Joints?
Mm-hmm, joints. Joint is not a connective tissue. You will know later why it's joints is not a connective tissue.
Ah.
Chicha. What about chicha?
I forgot it, sir.
Let's start with letter C. Soft. If you know the answer, you can raise your hand. It's soft. Sometimes, usually it's color white. In a chicken, it is the softest, it is quite a soft kind of bone, but it's not actually a bone and you can eat it. Start with the letter C. Alfonso again is raising his hand. What about the
Cartilage?
others? What about the others? It's,
Cartilage.
yes, it's the cartilage. The cartilage is the last type of connective tissue, wherein this connective tissue is considered to be the one that act as cushion to the bone. So cartilage, I had already discussed this one. You just forget act as cushion. Okay. It acts as cushion to avoid our bones friction. Okay? So I hope you would not forget this because our next topic would be all about joints. And you will know why is joints not a connective tissue. Okay? So
Okay.
we are down to the last one.
What?
Let's have it.
What?
Okay. Here. Let me erase this one first. So you have here, it is being highlighted or it is being assigned accordingly, color coded, that the pink one are the long bone are the flat bones. So as you can see, we have here your skull, the cranium is a flat bone. We have your ribs is also a flat bone because it is in color pink and it is flat in nature. We also have the vertebrae here. This is a ribs, okay? Sorry, it's not a vertebrae, it's a rib. It's at the back of your at the backs of the posterior anterior ribs, you have the posterior ribs that is also a flat bone. And you also have the pink one, the sacrum and the coccyx and the iliac region or the hip bone. So all of this color pink bone are flat bones. Okay. Now um we have here the long bone for color red. So as you can see here, we have here the scapulae, the numerus, the radius and the ulna, the femur, and then the fibula and the tibia. These are our long bone. Now for the short bone, we have here the green in color. What do you call this bone, Mark? The green in color bone. What do you call this, Mark?
That
Call this,
that one.
yes, what do you call this bone? What's the
Oh,
name of
short
this
bone.
bone?
Short
Yes, it is a
bone.
short bone. Correct. But what do you call the name of this bone? What's the name of this bone?
I think it's the palm. The palm. Yeah. Like the
The
palm.
paw. Look at it closely. Okay. You have here this is already the bone in your lower arm. You have here the radius and the ulna. Now, what about this one that attaches the radius and the ulna, and then the phalanges are here? What do you call this bone here?
I think it's the
Hmm. Take your time. Okay, we're going to let you see the lower part also here so that you can recall the name. You have here the lower part. These are both short bone, green in color. You recall the name of the bone that is found in your hand. This one. What do you call this bone? This is for Mark, okay? While the one that is found, the short bone in the food, I want Honey to identify or name this bone, okay? While Mark is still thinking, shall we have Honey first? Honey, can you name this bone in your food that is considered as a short bone? What do you call this, Honey? Do you see it, Honey? Do you see it, Honey? The one that I am encircling with the red color? Do you see it? Honey, can you hear me?
yes, yes.
All right. What do you call this bone in your food? This green short bone? What's the name of this bone? Honey is still also thinking. What about we go back to Mark? Mark, what do you call this? What's the name of this bone in your hand that is considered a short bone? Can you now remember, Mark, the name?
Scaphoid.
Now again.
Scaphoid.
Scaphoid bone. Scaphoid bone is a part of this. Now, what do you call this entire? entire bone. Because if we're going to say xaphoid bone, we are going to look for that as one of this. Okay, it is one of the concave shape. What about the entire name of this bone in your hand? Okay, first thing you do, Mark, is identify which part of your hand is that. Is that your fingers? Is that your palm? Or is that this one?
Looks like a palm.
No, it's not the palm. Then what comes first? After what comes after the radius and the ulna? What do you call this part of your hand? Allows you to rotate or circumduction. Shall we ask Inda? Inda, can you chat your answer in the chat box? What do you call or what's the name of this bone, the short bone that is found in your hand? Daraka is in. Good evening, Daraka. In there, do you have an answer? What do you call the name of this bone in your hand? Type your answer in the chat box, Inda. I'm waiting. I'm waiting, Inda. If you have your answer, honey, already, you can raise your hand. Or Mark would love to answer again. You can also raise your hand. Honey is raising her hand. So what do you call or what is the name of the bone in the foot that is considered to be short?
I think it's
Yes, honey.
cartilage.
Cartilage? It's a cartilage? A cartilage is a connective tissue. It's not a bone.
Um,
Inda, have you typed your answer ready? Not yet. Inda, it's not yet typing. Shall we have Noel? Since you're the one who answered this a while ago, what do you call the bone, the name of the bone that is found in your foot, Noel? That is an example of short bone.
Is it a tarsal?
Correct. Very good, Noel. This is the tarsal. Correct. This is the tarsal. It's found in your foot. Now, let's go back to Mark. Since Noel had already identified the name of the bone in the foot. Now, what do you call the name of the bone that is found in your wrist? It's the wrist, Mark. It's the wrist. If the foot's a bone, short bone is called the tarsals, what do you call the bone that is in your wrist? Can you now recall the answer, Mark? Mark is still thinking. What about honey? Do you remember now? Inda is sended her answer already. All right, I understand. Mark forgot the answer, forgot the name. What about, let's have Shicha this time. Shicha, what's the name of the bone that is found in your hand?
Uh, carpals.
Come again.
Carpals.
Correct. It's the carpals. Do not forget it. This are short bone. The bone that is in your wrist is the carpals, and the bone in your foot is the tarsals. Okay? Do not forget about that. We're going to have an exam on that next meeting. Okay? Do not forget. We have the yellow one. This is the last one. Sesamoid bone. This is the patella. The patella, this is found in your kneecap. They're considered as the sesamoid bone. And you have here the vertebrae. This one, the blue color. I don't know if it's blue or purple. The blue one is the irregular bone. So here, from the ilium coccyx down to the vertebrae growing up to your vertebral column and a spinal cord. These are the irregular bone because they are made up of vertebrae. Okay? So, do you have questions? No questions? Because it's already
So,
time and I know that some of you still have class. So I will going to send this right after I end the class so that you can study this one. This is the average number of bones in your body. The long bones is 90, short bones is 28, flat is 36, sesamoid is 4, and irregular is 48. So next meeting, we already discussed this one already. So we're just going to have a recap on the spongy and compact bone. So that right after that, maybe by next Saturday, I can give you your it should be this Saturday. So you should recall and study our lesson. I'm going to send this right after so that you can answer our quiz, okay? And I
Okay.
will do a follow-up quiz using Kahoot or maybe Google Forms so that we can able to differentiate your scores as for summative and your actual exam or the um end of the month exam for the lesson. Okay, since you don't have any more question, I guess I should say goodbye because you still have a next class after this and the next room is waiting. So thank you so much once again for joining me in our class
actually, no
tonight.
class.
Oh, you have no class. Others might have. So I will see you again next Saturday, okay? I'm going to send now. Who among you here have a class after this?
Miss,
Who among you here have a class after our class today?
teacher, may I ask?
Do you have, huh?
May I ask for something?
Yeah, sure.
Cause next Saturday I have a long holiday.
And then,
Um,
a long
a
holiday.
religion holiday for Muslim.
Oh, that's right. Ah, I see. Yes. So you don't have a class in there. Because it's holiday, okay. It's okay. I will just going to send an announcement. I will ask Sir Harry if um we have a class on Saturday or if we don't have, if we're going to observe the holiday on there. Okay. I will just ask him, but if it's holiday, then we're going to have our exam on the following Saturday. Okay? Okay. Okay. So I'll be sending now this PowerPoint that I have used, okay? So that you can study. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining me once again in our class. We're going to see you again next meeting. It's okay, Daraka and Nayaka. I'll see you again next meeting. Thank you for joining, everyone.
Thank
Goodbye.
you.
Have
Okay,
a good
miss.
weekend,
Thank you.
everyone. Stay safe,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank you, Miss
Bye.
Assalamualaikum.
Jackie.
Thank you so much.